Sleep plays a major role. I mean, sleep kind of lays the foundation for a great day, both from a physical perspective and a cognitive perspective. During your deep sleep, that's where the majority of your hormone production occurs, testosterone, growth hormone. And then later in your REM sleep, that's where there's a lot of emotional processing as well as neurotransmitter production. So if you're not sleeping enough, or more importantly, if your sleep quality is not good enough, your entire day is compromised. Not only that, they've done the research on one single night of bad sleep, and they found that it activates a whole host of bad epigenetics, including the ones involved in cardiovascular disease, tumors, inflammation. So literally one bad night of sleep will impact your health, and it's measurable. And then, of course, over time, talking about longevity, people that don't sleep enough tend to live less long. So yeah, it's critical in the now, and it's definitely critical long term.
Yeah, it's crazy how many people, entrepreneurs specifically, is it that they don't get it, or that from my experience, it's that a lot of them don't like truly do not understand how much of a performance enhancer quality sleep actually is. Like they think that they can get by, with 6 hours or less.
And I was one of them. So in my 20s, this is one of the craziest things I've ever done. I've done a lot of crazy things in terms of health experiments, but I was so obsessed with productivity. I was trying to work 100 to 110 hours a week. That was literally my goal. I had a
Wow.
friend of mine, we used to kind of compete. I was 80 hours in the gym. So I would say productivity, not just work, but 80 hours in the gym, studying marketing, recording a hard rock album, training twice a day. Plus, I was married. So there was no TV in my life. I had very little social life. It was just output. And I had the not so great idea of let me reduce my sleep by 15 minutes every few days, and I'm going to adapt. And as I adapt, I'll be fine. Well, it worked for a while. I actually felt pretty good until I got to maybe 5.5 hours. At 5.5 hours, what was really interesting was if I deviated any little bit on hydration or on movement or on food, if I ate the wrong thing, I would crash instantly.
Hmm.
And then I kept going. When I got to 4 hours, I absolutely crashed. It took me 2 months of sleeping almost 10 hours a night to recover from that. And then I read a great book called Power Sleep by James Moss. And that was a kind of an OG book in the sleep space. It was written about 20 plus years ago. And that book really sold me on going the other way, sleeping 8, 9 hours a night. The research was compelling. So I started doing that, and I did that for many years. And then I started tracking my sleep. I bought a Zeo, which was a predecessor to the O-Ring. It's a headband that you used to wear. Unfortunately, they went out of business. O-Ring came out, and both of them told me that my deep sleep was horrendous. I was getting 0 to 15 minutes of deep sleep. And then I had the highest body fat reading I ever had on a DEXA scan, and I had the lowest testosterone reading I ever had in my blood work. So I had this eureka moment, which was the number one thing I can do to improve my health, my body composition, my sex life, my business performance was to start investing in sleep. And I haven't looked back.
Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this clip, check out the full episode on the Captain's Lifestyle podcast. Also, check the description for links to discounts on the best sleep supplements that I personally use and recommend.